Now we can go ahead and introduce Mr. Dalton O'Neill. How are you doing, Dalton?
Hey there, how's it going?
Doing great, man. I'm so excited to finally be able to see you face to face again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was watching on the Facebook stream and I was a little bit behind, so it kind of
Oh
caught me
yeah,
off
there's a
guard.
little bit of a lag. I was just hearing.
Yeah, definitely happy to be here though.
Heck yeah, I'm really excited. I think the last time I seen you was at the Texas Hemp Convention.
I think so,
I think
yeah,
we
yeah.
bumped into each other for a second and I just kind of said hi because I didn't want to
So
like
it's always going
interrupt
down.
you.
I mean, I just like the expos, I like to attack and just talk to as many people as possible. I do remember seeing
Right?
you, I think we got a quick hug in and we were like, yeah, hemp's finally here. It was cool because we saw a
Exactly.
bunch of outside state people too.
Yes.
So it's like they already grow hemp in other states, but everybody was pretty excited there.
Right, right. It was awesome to be able to sit there and talk to all the different people that are involved in this. Like you
Mhm.
don't really realize how much this is going to impact our industries in Texas. The all the different parts that are involved, like their farming equipment that was there,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. The
the way
extraction, there
they
was
have
so much.
labs.
The whole
Yeah,
supply chain was there. There was a lot of labs there. There was a lot of like food there too, which is interesting to see how the rules play out. And then they
right.
had a pretty good party too. So it's always interesting at those spots.
Oh, yes, it was a lot of fun. So I wanted to get people to introduce. This is Dalton, of course. Can you tell them who it is that you are and why you're passionate about
You-
the ending
It's,
cannabis
it's
prohibition?
been such a journey to finally talk about cannabis, talk about what it is. It's like seems like the stigma and paradigm is like shifted right in front of our eyes like the last 10 to 15 years. But it's obvious that it's medical, therapeutic, helping out certain conditions. Just part of my story, which kind of got me involved in this, is really my mom, she had breast cancer early on, like 2005, 2006, she was diagnosed. And everybody has a story where cancer has touched a patient they know or a GI issue. So I don't want to get too specific into my story, and
Right,
save more time to talk about other things. But I got to witness firsthand as a child in middle school and high school, like what chemo does to a person, like how it beats up their soul, how it makes them not eat, and how people are actually dying because like they're hungry and their bodies are hungry, but they can't eat.
right,
Uh, Here comes cannabis, which anecdotal evidence people have been using forever. But I saw firsthand, my grandma, she's like Southern Baptist, taught Sunday school forever. So she was very on the conservative side, but she saw this plant help my mom and we saw it help her. So after that, it's a no brainer to support it. Couple that with like political science and, certain, um, views about freedom, how to treat your body, how it's our right to do a thing. I went to school in San Marcos, pretty close to Austin. So I was aware there was a political legislative process going on, but didn't really feel helpless. Didn't
right.
feel like we could do anything. So, the passion, seeing it with my mom, and then being kind of close enough to the action and political science background type of way, I really wanted to get involved. So, I've been on the activist levels, trying to go to different activist events, testifying at a couple, bills for the medical cannabis and for the industrial hemp, and just going to all these industry networking events because not only am I an activist because I care and want to make change, but I also recognize the business opportunities that are at least available to some people. Okay, and
Right,
you have to investigate it to learn. It's not easy. Like the business is super hard and intricate, which we could talk about. From my point of view and kind of what
right,
what I've been seeing out there. Some of the contacts we've come across. It's not easy, but if you're so passionate about the plant and you want to see change, how you change these laws and are you able to lobby effectively is with money. And companies that make money are able to lobby more effectively to change the things they need. So I was hearing you talk
exactly.
about all the different walks for the ocean, walk for picking up trash. I can't go to a creek anymore and not see a bear can and just get angry.
Right,
So, I don't think it's just the cannabis. What I've realized with the cannabis community is it's like eco-conscious, humanly conscious. It's not just we're standing here screaming we want our medical marijuana. It's that
right.
we want to live a better life. We want the planet to be healthy, and so I think that's why this is my community. People that see the world like that, and that recognize this is medicine, plant-based medicine, and taking care of the place. That's kind of who I identify with. So I want to live a life that is involved with this, not just as changing laws and doing what's socially right for our people, civilization, but also hopefully being able to create ventures to feed myself and feed my family and feed others through it. So that's
Right.
where we're at. We're in the middle of the process, just trying to fight every day like everybody else.
Right. That's amazing. I love that. You seem, that's really what we got to do. And that's what this show kind of is about, is there's always somebody out there listening that maybe they don't attach to my story. Like they
Mm.
don't personalize my story. But you and your mother dealing with cancer, that may touch them, you know what I mean, in a certain way. And we got to
Right.
reach all the different people. And
It's different and it affects everybody. People are so afraid. I think at least we're in this mental awakening, not just talking about mental health and things like that, but being able to say, hey, my GI system's not working right. People will talk to each other. And cannabis, on all, this isn't, wannabe science anymore. There's
Yep.
research coming out that it makes this very crystal clear
Right.
that these different cannabinoids are good for your GI tract and your GI system. And there's doctors that'll get behind it. So, having the ability to talk different people, I think you're right. Different people want to be talked to differently,
Right.
Different demographics, different, this is a world deal, different religions. You have to communicate this appropriately, especially to our older, more conservative counterparts.
Right.
Because you can be conservative and have conservative values and understand that you're free to treat your body however you want. It's always been funny to me because this seems like a super conservative issue, just from an outsider's perspective, is like like strong independent person. But we want limited government, we want limited overreach. The right to treat our own bodies, seems to be
Exactly.
a conservative principle. I think we just got it confused in the last 100 years.
No, I would agree with you in that. Definitely. It's a right. It's a human right. Like,
Plant, yeah.
yeah, they force these pharmaceutical drugs down you that cause 100 other problems than what you were trying to fight to begin with. And if you can actually have a choice to try something that's not going to do all those other damages and issues, and not
Mm-hmm.
only that, but you can actually function better. Like when I was
Right.
messed up on Xanax, I couldn't function. Like I couldn't remember what happened the day before, and this I can function. I can live life and remember it.
There's things and it affects everybody differently. That's another thing. Different bodies, different chemistries, different endocannabinoid systems. I'm not going to get in on that. I'm not
Right.
scientific enough, but it's like your body is different. What's cool, the science is there that everybody does have an endocannabinoid system, and that they need to treat it. Our pets too, homeostasis in the body. It's logic. You don't
Yes.
need to think. You need to think about the body like it's like logical, and it's like, oh, you want your body to stay in rhythm.
Balanced.
And yeah. And
Yeah.
CBD, I didn't really believe in CBD for a while, but it was hard for me because I didn't understand really what was happening. But then I understood I got some good CBD. And
Right.
when you're in that, and it doesn't just happen immediately, but when you're in that CBD rhythm or whatever, and you have a good batch on you, like your body's more in sync. Like it's just
Right.
it's running a lot better.
Yes,
And that's why
definitely.
the full plant situation makes a lot more sense, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
want
know. I was the
to.
same way. I was really anti CBD, and then I tried the rub stuff, some good
Mm,
rub stuff, and because I have bulging disc in my back, and I'll get this cramp that just goes all the way down my arm. All I can explain is like a big Charlie horse. It just never goes away, and you can't stretch enough to get it to go away. But I put that stuff on it, and it was gone. And pain medicine doesn't take that away. Like even when you're on pain meds, that cramp is
right.
still there.
Right. And it works. People wouldn't keep spending money. People, dermatologists, people are now accepting it. And what's cool, just from some of the people I've talked to, the race is to see who can get it to enter your system the fastest. So you'll see they'll have it, they'll rub it on your veins. I'm sure you've seen this. And
Right.
what's cool, innovation builds things a lot faster, especially when you need medicine relief. People can hate on capitalism right now. It's popular to do, but when you have companies fighting each other to create a more superior product, that helps the patient. Okay,
Right.
I want everybody competing against each other to get me what I want. Because if you're complacent and the normal would still be using the standard pain lotion from the 1950s, which
Right.
wouldn't have any of these therapeutic properties in them. So
Right.
I'm excited to see the innovation come out on the patient side, specifically, different methods, because smoking isn't for everybody, or everybody
Right.
doesn't like the sublingual tinctures. There's different ways to absorb this therapeutic medicine. So,
Definitely.
so it's just exciting to see from like an outside perspective, at
It
least
is
it's like
cool.
it's a moment in time.
It is so cool that we've gone from, well, me anyway, I smoked my first joint when I was like 13, 14 with a friend, and I didn't continue to smoke after that. That was a one-time thing for like a couple months. And then I ended up another time getting one from another friend, and I just felt more relaxed. And it's like going from that and hiding and like uh going to your dealer and stuff to seeing our state actually where you can actually talk about it and like say, yes, I've used
Crazy.
it. And I mean, it's just so weird how it's gone in the last decade from, oh my God, don't talk about that, it's oh so
Yeah.
bad, to people actually opening their minds up and researching more about it.
When we're realizing the opposition's not as strong as we thought it was, pre-internet, you look at the establishment and whoever's in charge is just, it can't change. That's who's in
Right.
charge. But now the internet and the social ground movements that we've been able to come up on, and the other issues we're having in the world today, it's just based on the principles. We want to be healthy, happy. We want to live a good life. That's global. Doesn't matter what religion you are. So I think people are kind of coming together now in a unique time over this plan. People say, it brings people together. So
It does.
Yeah,
I love the community, the family spirit, like you were saying, it's our kind of people. We want to make the world a better place. It's not just about cannabis.
right.
We want to for all human rights. We all injustices. We get mad about it, and
Right.
we got done with just sitting down and saying, "I wish this would be done." We just said, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to stand up and do it since it's not going to happen,
Right.
And then one after another, more and more people join in, and it
And then
becomes a
like
wave.
herd immunity. We're all in there, and that's another thing. Don't know how to get involved. It's like, just start going. I heard you promoting the walk over there in Arlington. I think that's a great idea for people that, feel healthy enough to go out with COVID and you're not one of those high risk categories. Go out there, get some vitamin D, go tell people.
Exactly.
There's not a time when you're not standing there saying, we want to legalize medical cannabis and people aren't out there supporting. You're holding a sign saying we want, medical studies. People honk for that.
Yes.
Yeah. You have people just saying, give it to us. But when you hit them with the facts, and now we do have other states to look at, which it's unfortunate for Texas that we're this far behind, but at least other states have pioneered to a point to where we're not having to recreate the wheel.
Right.
Like the animal food studies in Colorado, feeding these cows, and the beef industry, hemp and CBD. Colorado's handling that for us essentially to do all the groundwork. So when, by the time we're wondering if we can feed it to our cattle, the Texas cattle industry needs a little love right now. We'll be in better shape.
Will be there.
Right, and there'll still be more. We're not shooting in the dark.
Right.
So there are, sunlight's the best disinfectant in this case, and and also not everything's true. That's why we have to study it. Before we could have this open conversation, you just had to take people for their word that cannabis cured everything. And let's be honest, like, it doesn't cure everything. It's helpful in a lot of ways, but it's not going to fix your broken arm.
Right.
And it's like, hey,
but it's helping bone growth grow faster.
Did
you read that?
Right, I have seen a little bit of that. That's what we got to do. We got to do research. We got to do more research to either prove or disprove it. So, and I know there's problems there in the scientific community, how to get funding and stuff like that. But, it's just interesting, and from a business perspective, I've been trying to study, and I think that's the way people that don't understand activism or don't, oh, I like my job, I can't do that, I can't post. Well, what business skills do you have that can contribute to a business or contribute to a lobby organization? Are you good at social media? You could volunteer some social media work for organizations like yours. There's so many ways for people to get into the game. And I like the way you said it, because cannabis is getting more destigmatized. We haven't won the battle of prohibition yet, but we're getting slowly closer. And it is a bigger conversation than just cannabis and hemp. This leads into, sustainability, being more eco-conscious, cleaning up the river, the environmental problems that we have, being good stewards of the planet. And, you say what you want to about the cannabis community, but the hippie generation, they create a movement, and wearing a new hippie, you know, I'm a hippie. Hippies look
Yes.
like me now. And you know, that's a thing
I
where
used to
people,
always say that I should have been born in like the hippie days
yeah,
until this happened. And I'm like, no, wait, I'm born in the right time. I'm just supposed to do what the hippies did now.
right. And people are so quick to judge people and assume what they believe or assume because we're a part of this, you know, identity politic era,
Right.
which is unfortunate, you know, but when you want to free think and you want to protect the people and you just want to do what's right for everybody because you love everybody. And you know, that's kind of like the one love, like
Right.
vision. Yeah, that's where people get it from. And people that aren't within that community wouldn't understand it. You know, so it's going to get
But you got to
interesting.
spread the love.
Absolutely.
It's contagious. Cool deal. Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Greenlight events?
You know, Greenlight, I think it's not so much, you know, this is my first entrepreneurial journey and, you know, it's definitely a work in progress. We've had a few successes that we're really proud about and some few things to announce soon. But for Greenlight, for me and what I want anybody listening to know is it's a beacon of hope for me and myself that you can make a change. So if you're sitting out there and you haven't started an organization, you haven't filed a nonprofit, you haven't filed an LLC, Greenlight Events was born as a meetup company, literally, or a meetup group just to find information and to try to build a community because we couldn't find one at the time. And so when you bring a group of people together, you're able to form something bigger than yourself and build towards it. So that's what Greenlight started as. And it's been our vehicle to get to know the community and to try to connect as many dots as we can to people, you know, buyer to seller, grassroots people. Everybody talks about these giant companies coming in and taking the industry. That's going to happen. Absolutely. You know, people are saying really the really educated people I've heard on panels and stuff are saying 5 to 10 years, government's going to put its clamps down on this anyway. It's all going to be regulated.
Exactly.
So if you're going to build a relationship,
they do that with everything. So I mean, it's not going to not happen with this.
Yeah, and it's not all the freedom fighters and all the walks in the world aren't going to stop big pharma from taking this over. So if you want to get in on the grassroots or at least build relationships with these people, because these people do, you know, cannabis execs do different things.
Right.
You know, they do energy, real estate. So if you're looking, you know, to join or to come network, I do think there's still a lot of great resources. You know, it doesn't have to be cannabis and hemp. Greenlight, to plug it for what it is, you know, we're a turnkey production and event marketing company. We just started offering marketing services for events. So we, you know, our target client or target people we want to help is people that are throwing events that we can help serve with high level audio, visual, staging, lighting, LED light boards. We can do it all with, if you need a computer, you know, as long as you have the power presentation beforehand, we can get it looking great. We can build light walls through good subcontractor relationships we've built. And we just started doing marketing for specific clients. So we got some stuff to announce probably here in the next week or so about you know, who we're working with and what we're doing. But we're going to be producing a webinar similar to this for specific clients and for specific parts of the supply chain to really understand who's doing what. And that's kind of the digital event since the coronavirus has really stifled not just our bit. I mean, there isn't, you know, you say, Dalton, you say you do live events. Well, a lot of live events have been canceled for further notice, pretty much. So this is us adapting and using our social media skills and relationships like this organization to get the right message out to share to the community. So, you know, we do production and events. I'm really interested in studying the cattle and the fiber, the hemp t-shirts, building materials. Those things interest me. Keeping eyes on it, but that's not, you don't just join building hempcrete houses and make enough money to feed your family. That doesn't happen. So,
and it's kind of expensive to, we were looking at the difference between, and it's crazy because the fact what hemp is, you wouldn't think that it'd be that, you'd think it'd be cheaper, but just because there's not a big supply of it, like there is wood already and there is concrete already, and that you got to build that up to make it cheaper, you know?
The insurance, everything like that. So, you know, Greenlight, I have a feeling we'll end up starting some more, you know, companies later down the line. But right now, Greenlight's just been a vehicle to try to bring the community together. And everybody loves going to fun events. You know, everybody loves going to fun events. So, you know, check us out. We finally got our website, you know, looking the way we need it. Shout out to Ephraim, you know, our website developer. And, you know, we're just trying to
find you where, at what website?
I mean, greenlighteventsco.com. So it's, you know, it'll be tagged to the social media through the Facebook page or something. Cool. But, you know, we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I just got on TikTok now. We'll see how that goes. You know, we'll see. But I really
Let me
appreciate.
know, because I've
Canna.
been wondering if we shouldn't go that way or not. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it. I don't know. I don't know.
There's certain
Maybe you'll
community
find out
guidelines.
something.
Yeah, we can talk about it offline.
It's
There's certain
new.
community guidelines you can't break, but as far as I think you guys create some content that the world might want to see.
Right.
So, in different countries. So
Right. Right.
it's definitely interesting.
Heck yeah. Well, man, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an
Absolutely.
honor, and I've had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah. Shout out to the community at any time. And like I said, I hope everything works out so we can go have fun in Galveston down there.
Yes,
We'll see.
we
We'll
we
see
are
how it goes.
crossing our fingers. We're
Yeah.
hoping that by September we should be
Yeah.
hopefully allowed.
It'll
But
be fun times. I got some friends in Houston. They got some extraction down there. So it's
awesome.
time to
Yes,
go
it's
make it
going to be
happen.
so much fun. It was a blast both years we've had it, and it's just going to be, we deserve it. We need some time out in the sun now
That's
that we've
true.
been trapped, you
The
know?
right vitamin D situation. But I appreciate it. Thank you to the community. Thank you everybody for listening. Feel free to contact me if anything I said resonates with you, and let's go make the world a better place.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dalton. You have a good
All
night.
right. You too.
Heck yeah, y'all. Dalton, he's a great guy. I've met him at several different events. Like you said, everybody loves to go to events, and he's always been a great guy, a great supporter of everyone. Those people who just have good energy about them and that are loving towards all. Like he was saying, the one love thing, he's a great person, great energy. I'm sure anything that they do is going to explode into big things because they're great.